Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tess and I am a licensed esthetician here on YouTube. I love making skincare content and especially educational skincare content that is geared toward young professionals. I know this is such a crazy time with COVID and I cannot imagine being in school right now, so I'm truly so proud of those of you who are powering through. I know it's not easy and my goal is just to be an extra resource and support system for those of you during this time. That said, I'm super excited for this video because I know it was requested by a few of you, and any video that I know is going to bring value to you guys, I'm excited about. So today's video is tips for a successful client consultation. I know in school a lot of times there's only so much time, and I think most of the emphasis tends to be on how to perform technical treatments, and you're just working on building a knowledge base around skincare as well as getting prepared to pass state board. That said, I think a big aspect of being an esthetician is communication, and a really important aspect of communication in your job includes the client consultation. I think having a successful client consultation really sets you up for long-term success with your treatments and with your practice, and most importantly, in building really strong relationships with your clients, which is the most important thing. A successful client consultation, I believe, allows the esthetician to educate the client, if they're open to it, on what their skin conditions are and how the esthetician can set the client up with a long-term plan for success and results with their skin. So I have 5 helpful tips in this video for you today. Really truly hope it helps. If it does, please give me a big thumbs up. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. I'd love to know just what's on your guys' mind, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know. I'm so open to hearing those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get into the tips. This may sound a little cheesy or basic, but I think it is very important, and it is the first thing people notice about you as an esthetician. So the first tip I have is to greet your client, greet them really warmly, and make sure they feel welcome and comfortable. I know this sounds kind of just basic, but I think in the moment, especially when you are a new esthetician, having new client nerves is totally a thing. So totally normal if you feel that or experience that. I know I did, I know I still do, and many seasoned estheticians still feel a little bit of new client nerves because you want to make them happy and you're meeting them for the first time, so you want to make a good impression. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, people don't always remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. That is at the heart of what I want you to remember. Your clients likely won't remember everything you said in the treatment, but they'll remember how you made them feel, and that is what is going to keep them wanting to come back to see you. Again, I think getting more comfortable comes with time, but I think it's when you can truly be yourself and show your personality, that's the moment things click and people get addicted to coming to see you. You become their person, their esthetician, because there's a million technicians. What is going to set you apart is that human connection and relationship. So allow your personality to shine through and sparkle as much as you can. Something I also want to mention as an initial part of the greeting is to greet the client by name and let them know yours. I know it can become a little bit easy to slip into a pattern, especially if you've seen clients time after time and they almost feel like a friend. It can be tempting to call people pet names such as honey or babe or love, but remember, calling them by their name is the most powerful thing you can do to set yourself up as a professional. This is something mentioned in one of my favorite books, How to Win Friends and Influence People. They really mention how calling people by their name is really, really powerful. So I highly recommend that book, and just remembering to greet people by name. Again, let them know yours so that they can ask you any questions throughout the treatment. The last thing I will say in regards to the greeting, and I know this is sort of the preview to the actual client consultation, but it does set the tone and it is the first perception people have of you. So the last thing I'll say on this note is people, as they're coming into the spa, this is no longer a controlled school environment where everybody is ready to go, you're all on the same schedule. These are people in the midst of their crazy lives. Maybe they just spent 20 minutes looking for parking, maybe they had a bad day, maybe they had a really stressful time at work, maybe they are juggling a million appointments, maybe they have kids, who knows? This is real life. So even if somebody comes in late to the spa, let them know this is where they can decompress, offer them refreshments, direct them towards the bathroom, help them decompress, direct them towards the room, get them all set up, be specific about what they need to do to undress or get on the table, and just allow them to relax and get ready to enjoy their treatment. Next, I want to talk about intake forms, and likely you have had some experience with intake forms at school. They're probably part of your training. If you do hands-on facials and whatnot, you are used to filling out an intake form and you know what they should entail. Not only is the intake form important for liability reasons, it really helps to get you acclimated to who this person is. What type of medications are they taking? What products are they currently using? What are their goals? So likely upon entering the appointment and actually getting ready to sit down with this person, you have already had a look at the intake form. If not, that is something I highly, highly recommend. So you as the esthetician, upon getting ready for the consultation, you should already have a baseline for what this person is doing and using at home and any contraindications they may have health-wise or medications they may be taking. Nonetheless, I think it's really crucial to have an actual conversation about most, if not all, of these items. So get comfortable asking questions, asking what this person is doing at home. I like to break it down. I like to ask, what are you doing day and night time? I ask my clients to tell me pretty much everything that is in their routine. I ask them to walk me through the products they are using for daytime and for nighttime, because those are different routines. You're going to get a different answer if you just ask, what do you do for your skin? You may not get the full story, and pieces of somebody's home care routine can be really essential to the treatment that you provide. So you want to get to know your client. You want to get to know their lifestyle, if they're taking any medications, if they have allergies, if they are a smoker, again, what they're using at home. All of these things play a crucial role in the health of the skin and enabling you to understand what treatment will be best for them. And remember, your clients are looking for answers that you are able to provide. So getting all of this information in the beginning is only going to set you up, again, for more success down the line. So try not to rush this process. It's really important you get the answers to these basic questions and you are able to have an understanding for what is going on in their skin, and most importantly, what they expect to get out of the treatment. At the start, you are getting to know your client, but these answers will also help you down the line. You may not remember this person the next time they come back, so having that intake form that shows what products they're using, any little red flags that may stick out that remind you not to do certain things, it's so important to have that intake form. The next part of the consultation I want you guys to realize is this is your opportunity to really show your clients that you are listening. So I actually took an advanced course on acne with Douglas Preston, and the intake form and the consultation is something we spent a lot of time focusing on in the class, and it wasn't actually something I expected going into an acne class, but it has served me so well in my career. Something that Douglas Preston told me that I will never forget is that your client is picking up on any nonverbal cues you give them during the consultation. So by nonverbal cues, I mean when you are talking to this person, if you can, really look them in the eye. Eye contact is so important here. Eye contact, head nods. I suggest having a pen and writing down what they're saying. That gives the signal to them she or he is really listening to what I'm saying. She's taking notes and she is going to help me get to my end result. So when you do this, it's almost like, I wouldn't say exaggerated, it's subtle. You don't want it to be cheesy and like weird or awkward, but be obvious that you are listening. People appreciate the clarity of nonverbal cues. So again, head nods, writing things down, eye contact, so important. This is something I feel like is not discussed in school. We are just focused on actually what to cover with the consultation and with the intake form. It's the nonverbal cues that I think are so gold and important to your success. If you think about if you have ever gone in for a skin treatment or really any beauty treatment, even a haircut, maybe there's something that's been bothering you in your day-to-day life. This is something that you, on a human level, like look at yourself every day and acknowledge in the mirror, like, that kind of bothers me. I wish I could change XYZ. I wish I had help with treating whatever concern it is. Hyperpigmentation, congested pores, fine lines and wrinkles, dryness, dehydration, whatever it may be. This is that person's moment. Like, they have a busy life. They've made this appointment. They're here. This is their moment to vent, let it out, and tell somebody who can help what their concern is. So you want to make sure you're really receptive and listening. Doing this is going to set you apart from the competition. I think it's so commonplace in the spa industry, unfortunately, to have sort of a factory style schedule where estheticians are busy, they see so many people, but the client still wants to feel heard. They don't want to feel like a number. So this is your time, really one of the only times your client is going to see your face, see your expressions, see how you are reacting to them. So use this as sort of your golden window of opportunity to let them know that they are seen, they are heard, and that you are dedicated to helping them solve their problems. This may be the most important thing about a consultation, and that is to understand the client's goals. This falls into the category of something I call setting the expectation, and this is something that has been so hammered into me by my boss, and I'm very thankful for it, because in the beginning when I was just starting out as an esthetician, when little things arise and clients aren't totally 100% happy, it pretty much always goes back to how you set the expectation. You can't make somebody happy if you don't understand their goals and you don't set a clear expectation for how you are going to get them their end result, or even if that is possible. The way you can best do this is to simply ask somebody what brings them in. It can be so casual, and you just asking them, so what brought you into the spa today? Is there anything in particular you want to focus on? One way Douglas Preston phrased it was, if there's one thing I can do today to make you happier with your skin, what would that be? I think having the client answer back and having that moment of cognition, of understanding what they truly want, because some people, to be honest, just think, I want to look 20 years old. I want to look like I have a permanent Instagram filter on. And it's not only always realistic. So asking people to clearly identify their goals and pinpoint something is really, really helpful to you. And it just helps everybody get on the same page. It's humanizing. It shows them that you want to address their concerns, but you need to know what that is so that you can best do your job. Oftentimes there is something specific. Again, like I mentioned in the last tip, a lot of times there's something specific that has been bothering people, and this is their golden moment to talk about it. So if you can get on the same page, so much the better. On the other hand, a lot of times you have clients who really don't know what they're coming in for. Sometimes it's just for the experience, and that is totally an okay answer. It may not be something as specific as hyperpigmentation or congested pores. They may not know. So if they say, I don't really know, I kind of notice this often with younger clients who maybe just had their mom or somebody make an appointment for them, and they are more so coming to have the experience, maybe their first facial. Maybe they just really don't know how to phrase what their concern is, but prompting that question and even asking a second time for them to kind of pinpoint it, I think is really helpful. You just want to do it in a way that's obviously nice and not like you're interrogating them or making them uncomfortable if they don't know an answer, but prompting them, if you can, to tell you what their goals are is always just really helpful. So sometimes somebody might say, I'm not sure at first, and then I'll say, okay, if there's one thing you could address or change with your skin, what would it be? Sometimes that will sort of jog their memory and get them thinking, and they'll say something like, well, I wish my pores were a little smaller. And that's a great answer. That helps you understand what they want, and it helps them know what you are going to be doing in the treatment, more or less. Third case scenario with understanding client concerns is that the person has multiple concerns. And I had a feeling somebody was going to ask if I didn't say this, what do I do if my client wants to address two things? That will happen. Sometimes people will make light of it and they'll say something like, can you just cure my acne and make me look 10 years younger? And it gets you to sort of understand what is going on in their head, how they see themselves, how they see their skin. And while you may not fully be able to address everything all at once, again, it puts you on the same page and it helps you both understand what the primary focus is. So not to say you can't address two things in a facial, you likely can address multiple concerns, but again, you want to be on the same page as far as what the primary focus is. A lot of times you can also set a client up with a home care system that addresses multiple concerns. For example, an ingredient like retinol could address both acne and anti-aging. You do want to be realistic about explaining what you think can be accomplished in this single treatment. And something I think you may often find yourself saying is, we can totally address that concern in today's treatment. Most likely, most concerns are going to require a series of visits. So it may be helpful for you to mention that the best skin results are achieved over time with consistent treatments and home care. I think you will find the more clear you are about setting the expectation, the happier your clients will be. And especially in the beginning, getting clear will really help to limit the number of complaints that happen from clients, which is just a part of the process and it is normal. But I will say again from experience, a majority of mistakes happen when the client is not clear about what's going on, what amount of time you will be spending to address X, Y, and Z. So just be super clear. I will use myself as an example of a time when I was not clear about setting the expectation, and I've used this example, I've used myself as an example often, but I'll just share it again in case you guys haven't heard this story. The one time I did have a client complain, not the one time, but the major time that it has happened in my career. I'll never forget it, and it all could have been avoided had I set the expectation differently. So remember that people may have seen other estheticians, they may be comfortable with a certain process. They may be used to a certain process. So this person had the expectation that, you know, all of their extractions and pores would be totally cleared and decongested after the facial. They expected to spend a lot of time on extraction work, and it was my mistake in not communicating how thorough I was going to be with extractions. You learn with time. If somebody's primary focus is extractions, you can let them know you are going to spend a majority of the treatment addressing their main concern and working on extractions, because that will make them happy. Your spa may have a protocol of 10-minute massage, 10-minute steam, 10-minute extraction. I'm just totally throwing numbers out there, but you may have to customize the time you spend on a treatment according to the client's concern. So I know that's going to vary spa to spa, but in my opinion, that is the best way to achieve client success and just have happy people leaving your spa and coming back to see you. Next, I want to get into actually conducting the skin analysis. I feel it's in your best interest not to make recommendations about what you will be promising in the facial without conducting the skin analysis first. So oftentimes clients have pre-booked services such as a microdermabrasion treatment, what microneedling if that is allowed in your state, and I strongly feel you should take the time to look at a client's skin under a Maggie lamp and really close up without makeup or whatever may have been on their skin to get the best idea of what their skin is ready to receive. You may be able to already make certain conclusions based on their medical history and their lifestyle, but I believe it's really in your best interest to take a look at the skin, and even if you have to say, you know what, I'd love to take a look at your skin before we decide if we're going to go ahead with a microdermabrasion or whatever treatment it may be, I think this establishes you as a professional. Another important component of the actual skin analysis is this is the first time you are actually touching the client's skin. This is important because your touch has so much to do with somebody's perception of you. It allows the client to really get comfortable and understand your approach and how your hands feel on their face. If you haven't already gotten a really strong idea of what the client is using, and sometimes I'll get a brief idea before the treatment, and then most of the time I will actually get to asking what somebody is doing, like every product they're using, when we're lying down and I am conducting the skin analysis. So this is where I feel I have more time to get a more thorough answer. You can ask it in the beginning when you are going over the client's intake form and asking what they expect out of the treatment. I prefer to ask what products they are using when I am looking at their skin and the person finally has that chance to lay down, take a deep breath. They've probably been dying to get on the treatment table and just relax and feel your lovely hands on their face. So this is where I think it's sort of a golden time to ask what they are using on their skin. And with these answers, I think you will learn so much about your client. You will get an idea of if they like a 12-step skin routine, if they're that person who is willing to go above and beyond for optimal results. They're willing to do anything you tell them. You will totally get a sense of that just by asking what they use day and night. Sometimes people will let on little cues that let you know they are not interested in product. Sometimes they will say they are attached to their routine or certain products, or they love certain products, or maybe they'll say, I like this product, but I'm open to your suggestion, or what do you think about this product? And that will give you an opportunity to educate and respond. You also may sort of realize in talking to your client that they like to do the bare minimum. They're not somebody who is a skincare junkie. Maybe they're super busy. Maybe they don't enjoy skincare to the level you and I probably do. Maybe they just want to wash their face and put on some moisturizer and call that the routine. You will learn so much from asking them about their routine, and it also gives you an opportunity to possibly make suggestions. You may say something like, I think by doing a series of glycolic peels and thorough extractions, along with a strong home care routine, we should be able to deliver the results you're after. We should be able to give you the appearance of smoother, less congested pores and less texture, just for an example. Notice in offering these verbal recommendations or suggestions that I am outlining what I would suggest for a professional treatment plan. So that means what I am actually going to be doing. And I am also strongly hinting and recommending that this person should be on a good professional home care routine if they are not already. I think it's important, especially for those who are sort of new to skincare, those people who are new and naive to skincare but have really high expectations and want to see results, really emphasize that half of the results is dependent on what they do at home. And that is because what they put on their face on a daily basis is going to actually have more of an impact than what you do on a single day in a treatment. Not to say the treatment can absolutely take the skin to the next level, but it's so important that they are using the correct things at home to balance their skin, to get it strong, and to prepare the skin for the treatments that you are going to offer. The skin is so much more receptive to facial treatments and that type of stimulation when you have helped set a good foundation for healthy skin. The final fifth tip I have for you is to ask the client at the end of the consultation or the treatment if they have any questions for you. Sometimes I know the consultation and the treatment are on the same appointment, but regardless, always good to ask if the client has any questions. I end every facial, regardless if I've seen the person or not, I ask if they have any questions for me, and I would say probably 80% of the time people have a question. Maybe they were just wondering what a certain tool was, what you were doing to their skin at a certain part of the facial. If they haven't asked already, maybe they fell asleep and they don't know what to do next or what you have done to their skin. So always a good idea to leave the facial open-ended for them to ask any questions. You can also provide instructions for what they should or shouldn't do as part of their aftercare. And this is something I want to go into a little bit. A lot of the times the question people will have for you is there anything you would suggest I buy for my skin? Do you have any recommendations? That is a great thing because it lets you know that the client now trusts you and they're open to your recommendations for their skin. The other question people often ask is, when do you recommend I come back? That is also a good sign that they had a good experience with you and they would obviously like to come back for another service. Something you can do that I think really sets you apart as a professional is write out all of the steps the person can do to achieve their ideal results. So maybe you write out a little morning and nighttime routine. Maybe you write out how they're going to use the products. I find the more specific you can be with people, the more they appreciate it. I know as an esthetician, we are super aware of how to use products, but maybe this person doesn't know how to apply something or when to apply it, or what the certain steps are with a skincare routine. So the more basic and simplified and specific you can be, the better. Also, always wrap up the treatment letting the client know when they should come back to be on track to achieve the results with the treatment plan that you are laying out for them. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for sticking with me for all of these tips. Please try them out. I really am confident these tips will help you set yourself up for success in your consultations and your career. They're going to help you achieve really strong client relationships. So please try them out. Let me know how they go. As always, you can reach me in the comments with any questions or suggestions you may have for me. I am more than open to receiving those. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you in the next video.